Hello everyone and welcome back to Star Citizen. I hope you all had a happy and safe Christmas. So just before Christmas, the Arena Commander got updated to version 1.0 and this brought along quite a few changes, and they aren't just limited to the Arena Commander. There are also new ships and packages up for sale and some new additions here and there. So I thought it'd be a good idea to have a talk about them. Firstly, I want to let everyone know about some changes to some existing game packages, and I'll be focusing mainly on the high-end ones, which have been totally reworked. So if you happen to have seen my previous Star Citizen Buyer's Guide, you would know that I didn't think much of the high-end packages, because I personally thought they were pretty bad value compared to just buying the ships individually. But now they have been made much better, and if you already own a high-end package, I would say to you to seriously consider melting it and buying a new one, as you do get a lot more for your money than before. For example, the old Wing Commander combo package had 5 ships in it and costed $10,000. Well, the new package still costs $10,000, but it has 44 ships in it, almost 10 times as many. The high-end packages are just so much better now. And because of this improved value, several of the high-end packages did sell out very quickly. However, they now appear to be back on sale, but I have no idea for how long, which is why I wanted to mention this first, because if you're interested in buying one or exchanging your old package, you better not wait too long, as they might be gone again in the blink of an eye. But with that out of the way, let's discuss what's new in the Arena Commander itself. So as you might have already noticed, the ship's HUD look a little different than before, and also have some new information on display. Well, most of that is focused around the new signature system that was introduced. Now, I will try to explain it as simply as I can, because explaining in depth could be confusing, and I don't think I know enough about it to do it justice. So every ship in the game, player or NPC, will give off a signature signal. The strength of this signal depends on 3 different values. Infrared, so how much heat your ship is producing; electromagnetic, so how much energy you're expending; and cross-section, which is the physical area your ship takes up. By combining these 3 together, you'll get the overall strength of the signal your ship is putting out, which other ships can pick up on, and will give them an insight into what's happening with the other ship. For example, if you've ever watched or played any sci-fi movie or games, you'll have heard something along the lines of, "The enemy ships are charging up their weapons, Captain," or "putting more power into the engines to try and escape." Well, now you'll be able to see that for yourself, and it'll be represented on the screen for you to see. And while there might not be that many ways to take advantage of the information at the moment, except for the missile systems, which we'll touch on in a minute, the added detail is great to see, because as we slowly move towards the persistent universe, it is a mechanic that will have a lot more significance, so introducing it early is a good idea. So as I mentioned, the missile system has also been reworked, and you're now able to fire multiple missiles at either one or several targets, either in a group or at once. And it also introduced new missile countermeasure systems, which sounds like a great change, but I think it might have made missiles just a little too good, because there is no penalty for just unloading everything you have at someone, because you'll get a full set of fresh missiles when you respawn. And the countermeasures, well, they work realistically, which means they might stop a missile, but odds aren't in your favour. Also, the number of missiles used will generally be greater than the number of countermeasures you have. So this makes missile spam quite a big problem at the moment, as it's by far the easiest way to win. So if your ship doesn't come equipped with missiles, by default, you will be at quite a disadvantage, which could annoy some people, so just something to keep in mind. But the systems are brand new and they will undoubtedly undergo more changes. Now, you might have already noticed that the loadout on my Hornet looks different than it did before. Well, that's because there are now a bunch of new ships in the Arena Commander, including the entire Aurora series, the entire Mustang series, and the entire Hornet series, along with the Avenger and the Cutlass Black. So 15 new ships in all. And here is a list of those new ships if you're interested. Now, what that means is that you might find that your ship's weapons are different than they were before, like I did, as they might have been changed to reflect the different variants of the ships. For example, the standard F7C civilian Hornet, which you're seeing here, doesn't come with a ball turret, so it lacks several weapons compared to what Hornet owners were flying beforehand, which was basically a F7A military Hornet as a placeholder until the variants were ready. Well, now the variants are ready, so if you own one, you can now fly it and get a better feel for the ship you pledged for. So that's basically all the direct changes to the Arena Commander, or at least the ones that stood out to me. So let's take a look at some of the other changes, such as the new ships and packages. So there are 4 new ships up for sale, and 2 old ones which have returned to the sale list. The old ones are the Aurora ES and the Aurora CL. The ES is the basic starter Aurora, so it's the cheapest ship you can buy and doesn't come with any extras. Then there's the CL, aka the Clipper. That ship is the transportation variant of the Aurora because it comes with extra cargo capacity equipment, so it can carry much more than any other Aurora. Then we have the new series of ships, the Mustangs, which are low-price ships meant to compete with the Auroras as a starter option, but the Mustangs generally have a more defined focus in mind, which can be both good and bad. So first up is the Mustang Alpha, which is the basic starter variant, and it's kind of focused around light general use, but I would say it's probably going to be used mostly in dogfighting because you need an optional cargo carrier to be able to carry any amount of cargo. So overall, if you include that cargo carrier, it's similar in ability to the basic Aurora, which makes sense because they're priced pretty evenly. Then we have the Mustang Beta, which is the exploration variant because it comes with a jump engine to help travel the galaxy and a Com4T living quarters, which is basically a small room module, which is really cool looking, but unfortunately if you have that module installed, you don't have any room for cargo equipment, so you're out of luck there. But I personally like the idea of a modular living quarters being attached to the outer side of the ship. I think it's a really neat idea. Next up is the Mustang Gamma, which is designed with racing in mind, as it comes with an extra engine but less guns and no cargo capacity. So really, racing is all it can really do, which is a little disappointing, but that's the focus of the ship. And finally, we have the Mustang Delta, which is the fighter variant, and it comes with missiles, a jump engine, and some neat camouflage cloaking armor. But once again, sadly, no room for cargo, and the ship will only be on sale until January 5th. But overall, some really nice options for people looking to get into the game at a more reasonable price point, and for those who don't like the Auroras, which I think is a really good idea because around the $60 price point is where most people will be looking to buy in, and giving people more choices is always a good thing. I might even have to redo my buyer's guide because of all these new packages and changes. We will see. But there's also something There's also some new things available in the Voyager Direct store, such as some weapons and cosmetic items. So if that interests you at all, you can take a look. But the last thing I wanted to quickly mention is the new Public Test Universe, or PTU for short, which at first glance did make me have a double take, because I thought for a moment it was the alpha of the persistent universe. It's sadly not. It's basically a secondary server that will allow certain people to experience a patch or update before it goes live. But I believe all the spots have already been filled. But if you want in, keep an eye out, as it might open up again in the future. But that's pretty much everything new I wanted to talk about. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing. And as always, I hope you all have a good day and a happy new year.